Hello and welcome to episode. I didn't even look.
I knew he didn't. I didn't bring it up. I didn't say anything.
You know what, Fran? Get off my
whatever.
back. I'm sorry.
I didn't.
That was over the
I'm
top.
just agreeing with you. Run it back.
He's
Welcome
tired
to
and
DCP
cranky.
episode whatever.
Whatever.
Because if Briar doesn't care, I don't care.
TV, I got a question for you.
I cannot wait to
Here we
try
go.
and answer it.
Now, nobody likes slurs, right? Like it's you shouldn't use slurs. However, are there
We
any
all
groups
just
of
walk off
people-
camera now.
Are there any groups
Sorry.
of people that you think should get a slur? I'm going to give some examples just to kind of start the conversation off, set the tone.
Okay.
I made a list.
Okay.
I believe the people who we need slurs for, right? They don't currently
People who don't
have
use
slurs.
turn signals.
That's a good one. You could just say all BMW drivers. People who drive in the left
Beamer
lane at
boomers.
the speed limit, I think need a slur.
Oh, dude, come on. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's like this lane's for passing.
People who block the entire aisle in a grocery store need a slur.
Come on, man. Yeah.
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 People who enter a highway at 40 miles per hour. People who use ChatGPT. People who drink Harvey Wallbangers. Anybody from Massachusetts? That's my list for right now.
Oh,
What
I
do you guys
mean,
think?
Massachusetts has a slur for them already.
Oh, what is
People
it?
who insist. Oh,
You know
it's
massholes.
the Ohio State
Oh,
University.
massholes. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I didn't make it up. It's very common. Now, I'm not saying that y'all are. Briar lives much closer to you. I've never been to Massachusetts.
I am definitely
No.
saying
Massholes
it.
is like a common term. Yeah. Tell him, Chet.
Personally, I've been enjoying the hatred towards robots. You know, when someone sees like one of those delivery robots,
Yes.
they're like,
Oh,
"Hey, Glengar, and give it a kick."
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's plenty of like sci-fi that we can look for like the best robot slur, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Clanker's a good one.
Clankers. That is good.
Briar's gonna go to I don't know, one of those restaurants, like sushi restaurants, where they got the robot serving you just to use it.
Yeah, the little vacuum cleaners that come up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my current context, I've been doing a lot of Marvel Rivals content, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I've kind of been living in that space. And the people that bother me the most are it's a 6v6 game. You have tanks, healers, and DPS characters, right? Just like you would in Overwatch. Ideally, you want two of each, right? A well-balanced team.
Mhm.
So what
It's like-
bothers me is when we get to the character selection screen and like everybody locks in, like you'll get like two duelists, two DPSers, one healer, one tank, and you're like, come on, we're almost there. It's almost perfect. And then the next two people pick damage dealers. So now you have one healer, or sometimes you end up with one healer and 5 DPSers, and you're like, if you're the guy that locks in the 4th or the 5th DPSer, you deserve a slur too. Yeah,
Didn't come here for a long time. Came here for a good time.
yeah.
It's true. There's a lot of annoying people in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
I'm sure I
right?
made the list on numerous things. I mean, it's not escaping me. I'm sure people have their nicknames
I
for
plead the 5th on
for
that
the
one.
mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch sent me that
Oh,
list.
you already
That
call me
was
something when I'm not around?
If
I
I
mean,
had a
is this-
slur that referenced you specifically, it would be a derogatory term for people who I'm angry because they don't age like they should. Like you would
Oh,
fall into the category
vampires.
of Paul Rudd. It's just like, dude, when are you going to show your
Fran-
age? Because I started 10 years ago, and it's kind of pissing me
Oh,
off that you haven't.
get
yet.
outta
You
here.
dirty rudder.
It's all lighting.
Rudder. I like that. That's good.
Dirty what?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Rudder.
Oh,
You're Rudder.
rudder. Okay, I get it now. I was like, what? Oh. It's like rudder's on a boat, right? And then I got all distracted, just immediately thinking about rudders.
That's right.
It's
You
like,
got
wow, a
derailed.
dirty rudder? I'm like, that's how, yeah, like, there's all like barnacles on it. I just got that visual image, but it has nothing to do with that. Well, thank you. And also screw you. for coming up with this.
Yeah, you'd like to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
You look so good for your age.
In chat,
Oh man.
Resguido, I think that's Resguido, brought up that. Have you guys seen that World of War Amazon movie with Ice Cube?
No.
I haven't watched it. No, I've
Holy
seen all
saw
the memes.
smokes!
I've seen the memes about it, but no, I've
It's
seen
so fucking bad.
I don't know how that stuff gets made, dude.
Is it
It's little,
so
like,
bad that it's
cash-ins.
good? Like, is
No,
it worth
well,
watching to watch
I heard
maybe.
that
watch
it
the
could
house
be.
burn down?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's one of those.
I
It
watched
feels
it.
like it was intentionally that bad, right? It's so bad that it's
No,
like there's no way they
no.
could have done this on accident.
No, they did it on
Kind of a
accident.
thing.
Dude, it's so
You
bad.
think so?
It was a COVID era movie, right? So everything is filmed like from point of view of like a laptop or a phone camera,
Yeah.
because it was filmed in like everybody was in isolation, so they had to like stitch this thing together. But then
Oh,
they
I didn't
didn't
realize
release it
that.
forever because it was so bad, and they finally just pumped it out on Netflix. I happened
Yeah,
to watch it
like,
because
let's
I
get our
was
money back.
home. I was home, like I was home for 2 weeks because I had just had like a little medical thing, and I just like I couldn't go anywhere for 2 weeks. So I watched it. I was like starving for anything, right? Dude, it was hilariously bad. As soon as my wife came home that day, I had to explain the entire movie to her and how bad it was.
You didn't
There-
rewatch it with her?
No, I couldn't do that to her. I mean, I could be a real jerk, but I mean,
You're like, honey, you have to. It's so good.
it's so good.
Get the popcorn. You set it up. You're like, it's so good. And then like 10 minutes in, she
You
knows
you
who
don't get
are.
that kind of trust back in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, but yours is long eroded, way past that's yeah.
True.
Well, the
Sorry.
fun thing is if you keep the bit alive and you
Yeah.
see how far into the movie you can take it, where she's just trying to be polite because she think you're over there like, you're like, oh, this is so give me. And she's like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. This might be the
Oh,
worst
Lisa,
thing I've
this
ever
part.
watched.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That man, for a movie that's really bad, that would be hard to act like you enjoy it for a long period of time, because that
That
takes
would be.
the whole fun out of watching a bad movie, you know.
That would
Oh,
be
my wife
funny
would
to
tell
do
me
that.
immediately though.
Funny idea.
I'll be like, hey, you should listen to this song. I really, really like it. It's like my new jam. It's like 2 seconds in. She's like, this is trash. Please turn this off. I do not enjoy this. She's
My
not
wife
the
is
kind of
the
person that's
same,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
My wife walks into a room, explains why she hates whatever I'm looking at, and then walks away.
That's exactly right. I just want you to know
Yeah.
that this is trash.
All right.
Well, where do we start this? There's a lot of big game news. I have a
Yeah.
suggestion, unless
Should
you have something, Briar.
should we start with what we've been playing and then talk about some news?
I think you should start with 007 First Light.
Well,
Premiered
I don't know about this. What's going on?
yesterday. Did anybody else have time to watch the full gameplay reveal?
I haven't watched it. I've seen clips of it.
I did. I
What do you
can
feel?
get into it if you like.
This
Ooh,
is
you'd be
made
making
by
me
the
jealous
guys who
with a little
made
sip. Hitman.
Hitman. Oh my god.
So yeah, to bring everybody back up to speed, you may have seen like an announcement, a Game Awards trailer, stuff like that. But yeah, IO Interactive out of Denmark, has been doing Hitman forever. And if you played Hitman and followed them, you're like, man, it would be so cool if like they did James Bond, And then somehow it all finally came true. So they've been toiling away at this, coming to Xbox Series XS, PS5, PC, and Switch 2 as well, believe it or not. Curious how that's going to all pan out. But yeah, they had a full demo yesterday. And before I gush about it, I'll just skip to that part. It looks amazing. I just have to give them credit for I was so happy, grinning ear to ear, because I feel like I got a real demo from a real developer. And it brought me back to oh, you're just going to play the game, like the first mission, and show me the game. It's not like this, trying to sell. Not that hasn't happened for decades, but
Sure.
you used to get way more gameplay reveals and trailers and things that are oh, this is actually gameplay for, this is a 10-minute look at the game, and they're not afraid to show it. We understand it's not finished, especially for a big franchise. So anyway, the demo starts off and they're just driving in the car, on the countryside in Swiss Alps or something like that, and show up at the, the mansion, the classic Bond situation of, okay, well, I'm trying to get inside this mansion. And so yeah, they preview the driving, then they preview a little bit of what's Hitman and Bond games especially are also famous for is like making the decision, oh, I kind of scope the area out, and you got a barrel of hay over here, you got a water hose over here, you got an open window here, stuff like that. So just showing off the systems. And then after they get past that, a good like 10 minutes of infiltrating the mansion, no cuts. So drove all the way up, and it's a lot of dialogue and just panache, like just looks amazing. So
Are they like No Man's
Anyway.
Sky in this? Or like, can you drive up to this mansion, get out of the car, and just start exploring this place?
well, it's not an open world like that, I don't think, but that's what happens on the mission.
Okay.
I didn't, watch every camera cut, but it was all continuity from the gameplay. So yeah, you are driving up the road, pull into the mansion, I think it's directing you where to go kind of thing. But yeah, when you get out of the car, it just is immediately a real-time cutscene as part of that whole scene. And then it cuts back out to you, I believe, like, right, the camera will pull back and show, okay, now you're at the mansion. What's next? Talk to this person and then get inside. So then they finally do the cut, and you kind of drive back out in this sports car that I don't know if you stole it or because they kind of cut. So they do all the classic Bond stuff, and then you show up at like a freaking airport. And this was where like I was like, pre-order. I just wanted to smash the button because I was so
What is
excited to
going
see.
on, Fran?
Oh my
That
God, I know.
good?
You never hear me talk like this, right?
You're the anti-pre-order guy.
I know. But I do love I like Hitman, and especially just IO Interactive, like immense respect for their talents.
Same.
There's nothing like Hitman that is that good. They've been doing it for so long. So in any event, they get to the airport, and let's just say it is so explosive. I was like gushing about the explosives, like the way they handle the explosives. But to kind of set things up again, right? It's like, part of it's like, well, I get it. You're James Bond in an airport. You're just going to blow up barrels and make them explode. And you're like, yeah. But just the way they show the fluidity of start with your pistol, pick up an SMG off the top of the barrel, like just your point blank, like run an SMG up some guy's chest into his helmet. The helmet flies off, shoot the explosive barrels, which the explosion effects are so well done with the physics, pipes exploding all around. And then you're kind of climbing through, you run around this corner. This guy's got a shotgun. You push him off the ledge. I don't know if he had dropped that shotgun, but then you stylishly, like, you kick it up off the floor with your foot, pick it up, and he just continues to like shred, blowing everything up. Then he like grabs
you
the
got
dude,
this like
jumps.
frame by frame. Like,
This is, well, because I just watched it today as well, so I'm still like, just like, it's such a great demo. It is, to be fair, like one of those demos that somebody played this a lot to get this, but it was real gameplay. I wonder what a real first-time player goes through. Like, is it one of those where you tried to do what I just described and you keep having to like restart? But anyway, let me get to the end because it's so, like, everything about it just looks so good. But anyway, so he jumps off the top of this scaffolding, at the airport here, lands on the ground again, picks up another gun, and then like the SUVs start rolling in on the runway, and he just starts taking down the tires, and these things are like exploding across the tarmac, and like just the way they handle all the explosiveness and the real-time physics, especially. It just looks so good.
It's so
and all of this
impressive
culminates in him getting onto the plane that, is on that tarmac, and it, of course, taking off, which still goes into more where you like take control of the plane's internal controls, and then you with your controller are actually tilting the plane to try to like throw boxes and things with real-time physics in it. And then, of course, like in James Bond fashion, you like jump out of the plane. All is this, I believe it was the first mission or something. It's just such a great demo. And yeah, I will disclose, like, well, it's an alpha and it's on PS5, and it was a lot of motion blur, probably going to run at 30. How's it going to run on the rest? I
I'm
don't know.
surprised you're not
But-
bringing that up because that's actually what I saw. I
But-
thought you were going to go in this quite usual
Getting ahead of
Fran,
it,
like frame
game's
rate,
not out.
not optimized. I'm seeing a lot of skipping frames here, Fran. I'm watching it.
It's an alpha, dude. Didn't play the game, just watched a demo. And this was on PS5 Pro because, of course, they probably have some deal with PlayStation. They revealed it on the PlayStation Direct. So anyway, to skip ahead, I don't know, were you guys excited about James Bond First Light at all? Based on what I described or you've seen, are you interested? It comes out next March.
I've always been
I'm not
excited
ad-
about
I'm
this,
not
but
sponsored.
cautiously so, because like I love the Hitman games. I thought that last Hitman, like that last like kind of trilogy that they combined into like one big game was phenomenal. I've always been looking forward to this, but I've always been like, can they fit James Bond into that mold? Like, will they have to change it too much because they have the James Bond license, so that they'll kind of take the fun out of the Hitman franchise? Like, they'll have to make it too much about shooting. They'll have to make it too much about action, not enough about just like the crazy shit that happens when you're setting up one of these Hitman kills and then the escape, right? But what I'm seeing in this trailer is, yes, they're keeping all that and they're just like amping it up to like 11.
Yeah.
Like I do wonder like how much of what we're seeing here, like you said, is like this guy has played this level 1,000 times. He knows exactly how to line up.
Right.
Like he's got the truck with the conveyor belt for the luggage, and he's chasing down the plane, and he climbs up the conveyor belt, and he jumps, he grabs the fuel line, he climbs up onto the wing, and he starts cuffing with this guy. He knocks one guy off, gets blown off the train, like, or off the plane wing. Like, how is this all going to be? Like, can you do this like dynamically? Is this going to be the kind of thing that you just like happen into and becomes like an experience that like,
or
just
will you
happens?
trip?
Yeah, or will
and it doesn't work and it restarts and restarts and restarts. I don't know. Great.
Because Hitman at its finest was just like this like cascading chaos, right? It's like you plan everything out, one thing goes wrong, like you throw a fire hydrant at somebody's head, somebody else happens to see it, and now just like everything's going crazy and like
everything's red alert.
Yeah, and you got to like figure out how to like either complete your mission or get the hell out of there. Like, but from what they're showing, it looks like it's gonna be that. But with James Bond and like driving a Jaguar and looking suave, and, like it looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks great. So remains to be seen. But I will say I love that team, and I'm just excited that we're kind of getting this dream come true scenario. Like I think we've even brought it up on the show when it first got announced or whatever. But like, there's developers where you see them making stuff right. In fact, if you have any thoughts now, share it. But like, I wish they would get to make X franchise, because they're perfect for it. And it's rare that you actually get to see that come true. So I'm excited.
Listen, I'm gonna offend you. I don't like Hitman. I said it.
Do you like Hitman at all? For starters, do you like Hitman type games or James Bond games of the past?
I mean, I love GoldenEye 007. That's what I grew up on.
Okay,
but
that was fantastic.
Typical like stealth games, I've never really got like stealth assassin games. I haven't really got into.
You should try streaming the Hitman game. It is super fun to stream.
It's hilarious. Yeah. But that's the thing, Myelin. So Hitman game, it feels like you're bringing, and I think it's rightly so, but it feels like you're bringing over baggage from, say, Hitman to say, well, that's a stealth game, but that's not what this gameplay demo shows.
No, I know, I agree. I was going to say this looks more appealing because it's a little bit more action-based and bombastic than...
I think that's what they were trying to show, and again, like, I'm asking the same question of like, wait, though, are you just going to constantly be on alert and nothing's going to work because it's so hard because you have to sneak around? Or, as they reminded us, you have the license to kill now, as well as part of being Bond in this one. And that is what I didn't even realize it till I'd gotten almost to the end. I was like, oh yeah, like we're killing everybody. And it's so satisfying because you're Bond killing everybody. All bad guys, of course.
I mean,
you
guys think it looks really good? I don't know if I like, I think it looks pretty standard. I think it looks pretty.
I don't want to sway you.
Standard? I feel like I've seen it before.
I mean, name another game that looks like this.
I don't know, Just Cause from 10 years ago.
Okay. Well, Just Cause has great explosions and moments. Yeah, I think that's a good. But people liked those moments, didn't they?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like strapping a cow to a windmill. That was my favorite part of Just Cause.
But like, third-person games, recent ones that, have a lot of shooting, a lot of explosions. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one too. It's funny. I more would think of like Remnant, which is very different play style.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but so what are some good third-person?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, you're thinking like Uncharted games and stuff like that. Like, has there been something similar to that recently?
So many good games. It's funny when you try to go through your Rolodex. You're like, man, I'm like a deer in headlights even trying to think about it. I bet you there's like 10 games that match that description recently. But
So this is just a single player experience. That sorry.
Seems like.
I think as far as we know, I didn't catch them talking about any multiplayer or anything like that or co-op or.
Yeah. Okay.
Was there
Every time I see him,
I'm excited.
every time I see him close fist punching guys with helmets on, I'm like, bro, there's a lot of that in
That's
that
gonna
trailer
hurt.
too.
You mean because it's gonna hurt him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's gonna break his dang fist.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he had some implants or something, from Q.
Maybe.
I don't know. That last Hitman trilogy that came out, that was several years ago, right? Like, when did those come out now?
I'm just surprised, Fran, because these are the things you stay away from, like gameplay demo, like getting sucked into the graphics, bloody. I don't know. There's some bias going on here because of maybe
blink
Hitman,
twice if you're in trouble, friend.
I'm like, honestly, you have me questioning myself where I'm like, wait, am I like somehow some like biased James 007 IO Interactive super fanboy? And I don't realize like that gameplay looks totally mid or something?
No, you're right. If you enjoyed the Hitman games, this game just looks like it's taking that and just like amping up the quality level to the next level. Like this looks like the next evolution of those games, and those games are so much fun.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, Myelin, like for real, you might be on something really important. Is have people lost faith in like these AAA franchises? Is it because it's Bond? Like, in other words, if you saw this and it was just like some random, let's say, cool looking art style that you love, and you'd be like, oh, that looks
like,
dope.
when was the last good 007 game you played?
Well, right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a while.
I don't
Maybe
remember.
that's why I'm excited.
I was kind of excited for Perfect Dark, and that got canned, right?
Oh man, you had to bring it up. Yeah, I'm
Just
still
see the
upset
soul
about that
leave
one.
his body, and you said that. Just he deflated like pulling the plug on a
Yeah.
bouncy castle.
So you know what? Having a look at this. This is probably my major criticism. How much of this is scripted, and how much of this is like player autonomy?
Yeah,
like,
that's a good question. I think.
Did you watch the airport part, Myelin?
Like, if you're just going to get on that plane the same time each time, but if you can do it in like, I mean, guess that's the strength of Hitman is like you solve the problem in your own way. Right. If they apply this to James Bond with lots of action stuff too, then cool.
But that's
I'm just skeptical of the cinematics parts of it.
We should always be skeptical. I agree. But it's interesting. The demo is trying to tell you the answer that you want to hear to that question, which is that's exactly what we're doing. Because they show you all the Hitman systems, and then they show you the explosiveness and all this other stuff. So
I am not just for the trailer. They kind of show you him doing it like 3 different ways too.
Yeah, and so, like,
I
for the
haven't
record,
watched
I'm
the
not
whole
saying...
thing, so I've just been flicking through. So
yeah. Well, first of all, make sure you watch the airport part, because that was the part
I did watch
that I
that
just
part,
okay. I just love like the explosiveness. I do again question like, will it play anything like that for a first-time player versus someone who's scripted that? But I am not saying you should go out and pre-order this. I have not pre-ordered it. It's not that. It's just like for what it is. I'm super excited about it. And like every once in a while, I pick a game or two that I get that excited about.
Sure,
Metroid Prime 4, like I've barely seen, but I feel that way.
Sure.
Man, you guys really bringing me down. Except for
I didn't do that. What did I do? What did I do?
Now you know how we feel, Fran, when you shit on all of our games.
Now, Mylin's just sick and pissy. Don't worry about him.
He's so gaslighting me. I'm like, am I always shooting down his excitement? I might actually. I don't know. Maybe, dude.
But I like it. I like enthusiastic Fran play-by-play telling Australians. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm not whining. Don't worry, that's coming later in the episode. But yeah, you're used to me whining about a battle pass and
Sure.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, actually, Umber from chat brought up the Indiana Jones getting done so well was a nice welcome change.
Oh sure,
devs doing it.
That was surprising.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of good
well-
Indiana Jones. Remember that one that was made by the guys who made the Buffy game? What was that? It's on the original Xbox. There's that really good Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, and then the same guys used that engine to make a Indiana Jones game that was really good too.
I don't know. We'll look it up. In the meantime, Watts is asking. She's been busy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Watts should go. Like, she's had a long day. I think Watts should probably just lay down. But she was asking,
I
should she
think
come on
Watts
the
should
show?
just
Oh, yeah,
lay
sure.
down and hang out and chat and pipe up every now and then and say, "Oh, play this game. What about that?"
Just be a
Briar, do you
heckler
have-
in chat.
Up
Yeah.
to her, whatever
Yeah.
she wants. I know she's had a tough day, but it's not going to mess up the show.
If I was Watts,
Have
I'd
her
be
come in.
like, yeah.
Well, whatever's going to be therapeutic for. If hopping in and just shooting the breeze about video games is therapeutic, do that. But if you need some rest, do that too.
I feel like anyone who says, should I do this or lay down?
They
Like,
really
the
wanna
answer
lay
is
down.
always, you should lay
You should
down.
lay down. Yeah, go lay down.
Yeah. Like, don't give
This is
in to
true.
like this other your worst, impulses of like, yeah, maybe I should like, I feel bad I didn't make the show on time. No, like, you should probably lay down from the sound of it, is my read.
What else was in the PlayStation presentation? Anything else good?
Oh, no, it was dedicated to that.
was dedicated
so
to
it was
that?
it's one of those special
Dude,
reveals
what a
like they did.
crazy ride for that developer, right? Is they were like part of Square. They got go by Square, but they got to keep the Hitman license. Then they get picked up for Bond, and now they get their own PlayStation show. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're riding high right now, I'm sure.
I mean, that's a big franchise as well. Don't
Yeah.
forget how big the Bond franchise is. So, I mean, PlayStation's excited about it. I don't know what the deal is like, other than showing off PS5 Pro, which was sort of the moment for them, and they get to be the first reveal. I mean, that's, in other words, why does PlayStation care so much to be revealing it? It is just enhancing the PlayStation brand by saying, don't forget, James Bond is coming to PlayStation and you should buy a PlayStation. I mean, I guess it's nothing more than that. Because I don't think they're like working on any movie counterpart or anything with is it Amazon and MGM now or something? But
Oh, that's right. Amazon owns Bond now, don't they?
Ooh.
something like that. I mean, I think it's still the original. Forget the name of them. I just looked it up. but
Broccoli family.
Starts with a D. The Broccoli family. Yes, starts with a D-A-J. Anyway, well, I'm excited about it at this point.
Did any of you guys get a chance to check out Silksong today?
Yeah.
Today was launch day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played some, Briar?
Yeah, I played a little bit. Not a ton. And the nature of that game being a Metroidvania is like you have a move and you are just exploring the very beginning of it. And I'll be honest with you, I am very into Shinobi right now, so it was hard for me to tear myself away.
Sure,
And 'cause
sure.
I also
feel
knew, like, in my heart of hearts, like, I'm not gonna be able to get far enough into this game to like really talk about it too much. My wife
Sure.
was watching me play though, and she was kind of like, well, first of all, she really was impressed by how the game looks. It's not like she watched me go from Shinobi to this game, and she made the comment like, this isn't like as detailed as Shinobi, but there's something very artistic and very cute
Yeah,
and
sure.
like, very beautiful about this. And then the game starts off where, I don't want to spoil anything, but you're kind of in a cage and you like kind of fall into this hole, and then the cage breaks and you get out, and then you start exploring. And she thought it was hilarious because the very first thing I did was kind of start exploring and go around a loop and then accidentally fall down a hole that brought me right back to the beginning. I'm like, oh, dang, it's all right. I didn't go that far. And then I started exploring again. I remembered to jump over that hole this time and start exploring again. Had a little tiny, like, first, like, exploratory boss fight. Fell down another hole, ended up right back at the beginning. And she just about lost it right then. She thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely Hollow Knight, more Hollow Knight, but like, I'm very, very early into the game, so I cannot talk at all about quality of the exploration or like, any kind of weapons or abilities that you're getting. I don't even have a double jump yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I did not get a chance to play today. I mean, buying it on launch was a hassle. Sites were crashing. I
I didn't
guess.
hear that. Yeah.
But yeah, so which kind of coming out with a little bit of a speed bump. But I had other projects I was working on today, so I had streams pulled up because I was like, I want to see some of the gameplay and just kind of get the general vibe, and read some early reviews. Like IGN's already got their like work in progress review going, just to see what some of the early takes are. A lot of people saying, it's more of what we expected, like you're saying, Briar. But and then expansions in key areas like the abilities and customizing. I do think that Hornet's character is more interesting to me, both aesthetically and I don't know if you picked up on this, but there's more there's like dialogue. She has more character to her. She's kind of narrating some things. It seems like she's got a little bit of a playful edge to her, and she is still pretty stoic, but she's not as like one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So I think that her character is, at least from a viewer perspective so far, I'm more intrigued by this. I also like the overall aesthetic of her character too, it is kind of a simple design, but it is still visually striking and immediately recognizable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Super
I'm
well animated too.
And I think that the spaces that I was seeing seem to have been crafted with care. So I really do want to get around to playing it myself. But
yeah, that game's gonna sell a ton, and they're gonna make a ton.
I think they peaked
like it
over
marketed itself.
Yeah. It peaked at over
It's a small
500K
team.
today, didn't it?
Wow.
On
For a
Steam.
Metroidvania, for a
yeah.
2D Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
That's
just one of those
crazy.
rare. It's it's a. I wanted to say like a miniature version of the bomb that will be dropped by GTA 6, right? But it's
Right.
that, right? I mean, think about that. This is Silksong, and it's getting 500,000 concurrents, and then you have GTA 6, the biggest gaming franchise in the world, pretty much at this point. I mean, obviously you got Minecraft and Roblox and stuff like that, but yeah, Silksong. What was it? 15 plus million sold, I think was the number I saw, and then now you've got the sequel, which I'm very curious to see how fast, it sells if they disclose that, but it's obviously doing very well. I'm sure it sold at least a few million today. I have no doubt. I mean, 5 million concurrents, that means there's probably, 1 million unique players just today on Steam, So that's Steam alone.
500,000 concurrents,
Yeah, but again, always remember those are
You said 5 million. I just wanted to.
Oh, sorry.
I think you just slipped it out.
500,000.
I just wanted to make sure for the listeners. Just like,
no, I didn't even realize. Yeah.
Like 5 million concurrents. Like, whoa.
500,000.
Yeah, so that's similar to the Battlefield 6 open beta. That was over just 500,000 as well.
That's right. That's a good man.
So pretty crazy for the size of the game and audience.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be playing it next week. I don't have time today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just bought it on PlayStation. I didn't realize there was all sorts of problems downloading it. It downloaded really fast for me on PlayStation in the middle of the day, so maybe that had something to do with it. Well, let's think about buying it on the Switch too. But I don't know.
But after we talked about Shinobi, you got scared off, right?
Can I talk about Shinobi a little bit? Man, this game is fucking awesome, guys. It's so cool.
Hadn't heard that yet.
This is the first we're hearing this, dude. Tell us more.
So
cool, man.
I wish Watts was here to talk about it. No way.
Like, there's a dedicated button on your. It's not dedicated. It does a bunch of stuff. But when you come up to like a crate and you're running, you can just kind of like vault over it and keep running if you hit the R1 button. It's like so well animated.
Hardcore parkour.
It is hardcore parkour. It is like everything feels so smooth, so well animated, but also so tight. You know how sometimes this used to happen a lot in like older games. I feel like maybe it happens less now, but there's like games that have animation priority that make things kind of feel a little bit sluggish. I'm thinking like in the 2D space, I'm thinking like Earthworm Jim or something like Flashback, like where it's really well animated, but that animation kind of it slows everything down and makes it feel a little. This looks animated like that, but it's so smooth. It's so tight.
Fluid.
You
Yeah.
have so many moves at your disposal, and you're continually. It has a shop where you're continually just buying more. Right at the beginning, you start off as Joe Musashi. He's like an expert shinobi, expert ninja, and you're talking to your pregnant wife. You talk to your student, and then the town's being attacked. So you just like get right into it. You start just running to the right and slashing things. They start teaching you a couple of the different moves. You have a heavy attack and a light attack, and you can combo between them. And a lot of the heavy attack stuff will shove people up into the air, and then you can jump up and continue your combo up there. So it's very versatile with how you dispatch enemies, but also like how you keep them from attacking you. And then you also have these combos where if you get enemies down to a certain amount of health, but you do it in a dramatic fashion with much more heavy attacks, you can actually use an execute move. And if you kind of move around and get like multiple enemies into that execution kind of mode, you can just like zip and like kill them all real fast, and that gives you like a bunch of like resources like health and rage, which gives you like a super and money for the shop. And then as you go to the shop, you're just buying more abilities, which is a nice way to do it, because you're not just getting stuff that you're never going to use. You can just kind of pick the move, like, I do have a problem when like guys are up in the air. I'd like to be able to keep them in the air, juggle them more, or I want to get them back down on the ground so I can continue my combo longer. Like it's just very intuitive with buying your moves and getting them. It feels so tight. Like it feels so fast. It's so frenetic, but you're always in control. You know what I mean? Like you always can see what's going on the screen. It doesn't get like overwhelmed with like flashy effects. You can always you can kind of grok what's happening, and you can always like move your character and get them to where you feel like you need to be, and also like kind of strategically move around the battlefield to give yourself the best chance at survival and of getting health. It's a very cool game. It looks real good. Every once in a while, I'm like, this might have been the early 2000s that ruined me a little bit. Every once in a while, I'm like, this looks a little bit like a Flash game. But that might be just because like Flash games were the first like 2D games that had like high resolution graphics. So now every 2D game that has high resolution graphics looks a little bit like a Flash game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that, because I have a friend that jokingly says this, but says that about Silksong as well. It's like, oh man, this Flash game's gonna sell like 15 million copies. But yeah, like that sort of flat style on the backgrounds, and so I get that, but but it looks incredible.
I played the demo. I concur. I played the demo on Steam. You can just download the demo and do like the first area, I think, or with boss. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I kept forgetting really good. There's a lot of moves to like combos to try to remember, and then like you said, you got your execution buttons, you got a super button, and you've also just got like I can't remember what they call it, like your magic button, like Nipple. Fireballs and that's what it is. Yeah, which I always forgot what it was. I always forgot to use that.
Yeah.
Is there much platforming in the game as a focus, or is it literally?
There's a lot of platforming. It gets to there's some of it that's more action, some of it that's more platforming.
So there is some in between of like.
Yeah, and it's level based, so you go from one level to another level, but each level has a little bit of like exploration to do and some hidden areas to find. So there's like a little bit of Metroidvania in there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like you have to interact with it if you don't want to, but there are unlocks that can give you power-ups and, unlock new abilities and weapons, which I haven't gotten yet, because you do have to go back once you've unlocked abilities. Like, you unlock like a powerful punch that can break through barriers.
And then you got your cut HM. Gotcha.
Yeah, so like you start that, you get that in like level 3, then you could go back and play the first 2 levels and find those barriers that you weren't able to break through. Or
Oh,
there's
nice.
like grappling points. You don't have a grappling hook, so you can go back and
Very
do that
Metroidvania, yeah.
stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, and I asked that too because did you? I can never remember. You played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it just maybe reminded me how good action platforming, in this style can be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just look at it and be like, "Wow, I don't know, it's not a big 3D game." And you're like, "Man, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was Game of the Year material." So
Yeah.
play it if y'all didn't. That was from last year.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. There's a new Prince of
Cool.
Persia game, like a roguelike, that actually looks pretty good. I haven't
Yeah,
checked it out yet.
It's actually called Rogue.
Is
Isn't
it
it?
just called Rogue?
I thought it was called like Prince of Persia. I'm gonna look it up right. Rogue. Oh, the Rogue. That's what the Rogue Prince of
Rogue.
Persia. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That was like another Prince swing from Ubisoft. Yeah, it's a good reminder too. Like, I don't know how that one turned out. It's got a lot of very positive feedback. I remember hearing good things about that too. So, yeah, I mean, it goes back to Silksong, right? It all lines up in the whole like. There's so many Metroidvanias and games of this style that you're like, they're all good, right? And you're like, yeah, actually. What makes Silksong so much better, I haven't played, but the way people talk about it, I'm like curious to see how that pans out, in a year where you've got, say, Shinobi, which is incredible. And I don't know if there's any other stiff competition in that style. I mean, granted, Silksong,
Ninja
what little
Gaiden just came out last month.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That Ninja Gaiden,
Ragebound.
what's it called? Ragebound, yeah. But Silksong's not as fast and furious in the combat, right? I mean, you get
No.
into combat, right? But
The first Hollow Knight got
there's
hard.
combat.
yeah,
I haven't gotten there in Silksong, but I assume it's gonna.
Yeah.
The first Hollow Knight got difficult.
We're eating good as always.
Yeah.
Fran and I and Watts actually played Cronos.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear about this.
Oh, big news.
Yeah, very
Lay it out for us, yeah.
Dead Space. You're gonna get very big Dead Space vibes. Even including like the stomp mechanic and the melee mechanic, and just kind of how the character controls.
Heavy.
Yeah,
Heavy in a spacesuit.
intentionally heavy. You're not omnidirectional dolphin diving.
Right,
like
right.
Call of Duty. Like it's intentional that to suit the survival horror genre. The environments look great. It's kind of a mixture of sci-fi and I don't know, Resident Evil. Lots of like kind of abandoned towns. Like you're going through post-apocalyptic area. I think it's Poland or Russia. I'm not too sure exactly where you are. It's Poland.
In that though, you're right
sci-fi
in the
stuff
time
in there.
period though. It's like
What's that? It's like
I said you're right though
1980s.
that there is like a Cold War block. I think I forget which time period, but yeah, it's totally Russia included, but it's in Poland.
Yeah, you don't really know exactly what's going on. You kind of just get thrown into it and you start piecing stuff together. The idea being you're from the... I mean, I'll see what you think, Fran. This is what I think's going on. You're from the future. You're sent back to these time periods to extract people and memories to try to to try to prevent this thing coming to pass, trying to prevent this apocalypse. And for whatever reason, this virus, this pandemic that's happened, I think people have turned into monsters from it. Like, I think they are humans. We haven't really had that confirmed yet.
Yeah, I'm only so far into it. It's what it sounds like.
COVID-26.
Yeah, almost in a Last of Us kind of thing. People getting sick and...
Yeah, there was big warnings of like, this might trigger people who had a rough time during COVID, basically, because it all the law that you read during it, it's like lockdowns and military takeover and like you get a lot of characters through the writings that you read, like different opinions about what's going on, and you got your conspiracy Briars in there too. You got to go find people that are thinking someone else is going on. So yeah, I think the story is probably the most interesting aspect. I haven't really seen the combat like evolve much yet. Very like typical survival horror. Like you constantly feel like you're out of health, you're out of ammo, and you have to manage that as you go through. Similar to Resident Evil. Like, okay, I've got 5 bullets. Like I need to make sure I either hit these shots or use the environment to destroy the enemies. There's often like barrels and like other things you can bait enemies into to blow them up.
Yeah. Did you, on that note,
go on.
I don't know how many hours you played or whatever, but did you, I mean, did you find it intense, the combat, that it was like, dang, this is kind of like, because there's no difficulty mode. So
I think they've balanced it
Not that
really
intense.
well. Like, and I think you kind of need to do that with some other horrors. Otherwise you lose the horror aspect. As soon as you get like, as soon as I ever felt like, oh man, I've got like a couple heals, I've got like 20 bullets, I've got 2 shotgun rounds. It's kind of like, in Resident Evil, like, fuck yeah, bring on the zombies, motherfucker. Yeah, I've got like, I'm loaded. And then of course it'll push you through like a big area with 5 or 6 and you're back down to like a single bullet. You're like, I really hope a save point comes up soon.
Yeah, it's rough.
I think they've got that.
And I think I was
well.
really happy for that, is why I stopped on that point to bring it up. I was like, part of it is I punish myself by, and I do this all the time. I'm like, man, I like it difficult. I'm not going to use my skill points until I have to. And there's an upgrade system. And of course, the first upgrade I took was just like, I'll just take more inventory because I'd rather stock up than
like
I
a bigger
would. And I'd rather,
or like,
it's a Resident Evil inventory. So it's literally one of the grid things. And you're like, well, I need one more square so I can hold one more thing. And well, I did that. I definitely feel like it punished me a little bit because I got into the first big, it's no spoilers, I'm not going to get into detail, but a big like first area where they just throw a bunch of the enemies right in your face. I just kept
I found
dying.
that first area the hardest area, and it hasn't been harder since, I reckon, for some reason.
Is this the
I don't know
one
why.
where well, you fall through a floor?
Yeah.
That one. Okay, so that was hard.
Spoiler.
Right? You died there, I would hope. It's not
I would
just
hope.
me.
I hope you
a couple
died.
times there, yeah.
Yeah. But I only took inventory upgrades.
To be honest,
hadn't
died. Maybe died since, but that was probably the only part I've had to repeat a couple times.
Yeah, that one I just kind of got stuck on, but I was a little distracted by some settings and other stuff. But yeah, the game's awesome. Yeah, Watts is hanging out in chat. I know I can speak for her. She was really into it. She played like 8 hours. She was actually noting, I guess, the Traveler is the character name, I think, but she had said that the character doesn't even know. They're just kind of following orders. Warping some space and time in here.
You definitely get this idea that you're part of, like, you're the soldiers of the Time Lords, right? Like, it's very like there's the collective, the secretive organization, and you're the single time traveler gets pushed out to complete the mission, and you don't always really know what the mission is until
you know what you need to know.
Yeah. So it has that vibe to it, which is pretty classic for like time travel stuff. Is like we can't tell you, otherwise you affect time itself. So like we're gonna send you there first and then tell you the mission. But the story is really good. I think my gut reaction is you probably play it to see this story unravel. I don't know if the combat is definitely enjoyable, but I don't think it's like best in the genre for like survival horror. I don't think it's like groundbreaking or anything kind of. There's no crazy spins on it yet that I've really
a lot of just
seen.
Shooting
I think
for
it's
the
good.
most part.
Yeah,
right
I think it's good.
And
like environmental.
Great.
Yeah, you get different guns. You get shotgun. You get there's a lot of inventory.
But we're pretty early
I think
in
it's good for the genre.
Assume for you too, right? So it's
it's still got time to develop for
sure.
I think I'm about 6 hours in, so there's still plenty of time for it to change. But I wouldn't be upset if it didn't change either. Like I wouldn't be upset with the quality of like the combat and the upgrades and that if it didn't drastically change, because I'd probably still say I'm there to see how the story unravels and the world is kind of cool to be in, basically.
Yeah. For me, other than first I'll just get out of the way that I'm playing on PC, and it was distraction. It's another Unreal Engine 5 game that is just plagued with stutter problems, And so if you're having that and you have a really nice rig, which I have a good setup, and it's not just me. I looked around into it. It's a lot of people. So if you have ray tracing on, unfortunately, as good as it may look, that's not going to do you any favors. And there's just some like traversal stutters and stuff
I
like that.
hope
So
you
big
apply
bummer.
all this same to 007 First Light, you
That
hypocrite.
doesn't run on Unreal Engine 5. It runs on IO Interactive's proprietary Glacier engine. So why would you ever?
You are a fanboy.
How smooth that sounds. Glacier engine. I bet that runs crystal smooth.
It's icy frame rate on that one. No, I really don't know. It did actually look like it could have a bunch of those types of issues. But anyway, putting aside that, in other words, I didn't get to play it on console. I hope it's just kind of like locked closer to the 30 frames or whatever, and it's solid. But putting all of that aside, man, I just want to say, yeah, these are the types of games that I want. I really, as you may remember on the podcast, if you've been listening for years now, Dead Space 2023, how many times have I told y'all to please play that game? I want more games like this. I was so happy they redid it. They added content. This was from Motive, who now got put on Battlefield because you didn't buy it and they didn't get enough that they would do Dead Space 2 or
It's
maybe
your
a
fault.
sequel. It is. Buy these games. But that's my point. This is the type of game that if you do love it, actually, like I do, and I was getting to Mylin's point of like, yeah, like it doesn't seem to be like innovative and like, who knows? It's early for me, but it's good. It feels good. The animations are like really slick. Like when you reload your guns, like it just sounds great. It feels good. And it's just fun to walk around in those. It's Resident Evil with like heavy Dead Space, suit and shoes on. And everything is very slow and methodic so far. And you have to be really careful with crafting ammo and how much you use and all that stuff. And, we'll see. One of the mechanics in the game that I think is interesting, which heightens things, is so you can kill enemies, but if there's enemies alive, they consume the dead bodies to become stronger and will be putting on like armor and transforming. And it's definitely annoying, but in a good way so far. I'm like, oh God, I got to take these enemies down. So I'm definitely liking it so far, but it feels, like a strong, more Resident Evil-y experience, but inspired by some of that Dead Space feel.
Yeah. How do you think about like the suspense and like horror or like, I definitely had a couple jump scares, but I don't know if it's, I wasn't feeling anxious the entire time. Like some of these games, like I feel like everything's going to kill me all the time and I'm peeking around corners, where I felt like this is like there were definitely moments,
just creepy.
but like it's a bit, exactly. It's more
not
like
jump scary.
Stranger
so far.
Things, like creepy kind of deal, and atmospheric.
Yeah, it's been very atmospherically moody, creepy. Everything is very dark and moody, and like I love it for those reasons. And in fact, I think you see the Silent Hill inspirations of like a lot of fog and just atmosphere everywhere you go. Walking around. Yeah, not too many jump scares. I mean, I think they tried a couple, but they're not. It's not trying to be like Resident Evil, which can a lot of times like really try to like with sound and cutscenes try to jump scare you. I haven't run into that, but it's definitely meant to be the intensity of only having that one bullet left, and getting the job done, or you're gonna die, kind of thing. So it's got that going for it.
I don't dislike that style, but I think I prefer. I think a good example would be the game Control from Remedy, where you get that creepy factor in a lot of these places, but you're also really powerful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're
I
like,
think it's
that's
closer
so freaky.
to like
I'm gonna go kick its butt. Good.
Yeah, I think it's closer to. I actually mentioned this when I was playing. I was like, I feel like this is closer to like Alan Wake and Control, where you're kind of playing with this, like, to see this story unfolding, and it's not like super jump scares all the time, more atmospheric, more kind of just being absorbed in the world. And then there's some moments that have like high action, but for the most part, you're kind of like moving around and trying to piece things together, like reading notes of what people left behind. And they've got this feature where if there's something written on the wall and you aim at it, it will bring up the text of it. So there's a lot of
Translate
like
the Polish,
environmental like storytelling where you should be looking at like posters and calendars and stuff
Graffiti
on the
on these
walls and stuff like that, and it tells that story that way.
Yeah, I do like it for that. There's no like cutscenes explaining what's going on so much. You get some narration and stuff with the traveler there and
There's
all,
some
but
cutscenes coming, Fran.
well, there's some, but you're coming still, you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you haven't got them yet.
Yeah, I only got to like there's a town, that sort of foggy town, if that makes sense to you, with a
Yeah,
big apartment
there's some
building.
more
That's where I'm
coming,
at right
a
now.
bit more quality. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, but there is a lot of story told through the game, like you've been getting at, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
So it's
Any
cool. Yeah, I
plans
mean,
to-
I recommend it.
Any plans to play Hell Is Us?
I wish.
I've
No
been
time.
on the fence with this, but after hearing like Watts, and I've been seeing some people talk about it a bit more, it I think I really appreciate, like, if I only just support them because I think I really appreciate what they've done. And the only thing I can really say about it is how there's no like objective markers on the map and no kind
Yeah.
of guidance. You've just got to
Yeah.
talk to people, have a notepad next to you, and take notes and be observant. And I kind of really appreciate that because I don't think you really get those kind of games anymore. And I think
Mhm.
anyone who likes open world games kind of fell in love with that kind of aspect of open world games, is like not having objective markers everywhere and just kind of stumbling upon something, accidentally solving something, or intentionally remembering where something is and finding it. So that seems really cool for sure. But I haven't played it. But I've watched Watts play a little bit and I've seen a couple of videos on it, saying
It looks
similar
great.
stuff. So yeah.
Nobody here played it though.
No, I didn't.
I was too busy fulfilling our fundraiser requirements.
Yeah. Congrats.
I played League of Legends
Oh, how'd that go?
because I that was our last for GCX. I think if
Yeah,
we got
St.
to
Jude's
one.
50,000 or 40,000,
for that.
I would play League, and I hated every moment. Oh my lord! I can't believe that is one of the most popular games in the world. I thankfully we had
Ye-
Watts and her League team
Mm.
playing with us, so at least I could talk to people and give instruction. But man, getting into a pre-established MOBA ain't for me. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Nobody, but Watts plays League, but nobody else here does, right? Yeah.
No, I
You'll
don't
have to
think
bring
so.
this back up when she's on next week, because
Yeah, true.
I want to hear her grill
True.
you over it.
Well,
But not for you, not your game.
I think I don't know. It's one of those it made me think like this game is so ridiculously popular. Can anything knock off it, like compete with it MOBA wise? I mean, I guess we're getting Deadlock at the moment, which is still in development or whatever it's
Yeah.
called, which seems to be received well, but like I feel like that MOBA market is so locked down between Dota and League of Legends, and like people are so locked into it. Like it's hard for something to come along and
Yeah,
kick
dethrone
them off the
it. No.
perch, dethrone it. Like I loved Paragon. Played so much
Oh,
Paragon
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the day, by Epic Games before Fortnite popped off, and was kind of excited to start a MOBA that wasn't also top down as well. That was like third person.
Mm-hmm.
Then that died. I guess it's coming back now because they just gave the IP to everyone, so someone's picked it up and has made it, or continued it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think part of it, tell me if I'm wrong since you've played it now, but yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to try League of Legends, but it always feels like the farther you get away from like whenever it launched, people got in it, you're like, don't even touch it because you're going to get smashed if you, like, who do you even play with at the level you're at, which is 0 if you start that game?
Right.
Is it
They must be
possible?
getting new players?
That probably is a system. We'll have to ask Watts next week. But I think it's fair that a lot of us get that impression. It's Destiny's problem, right? Like people are like, even though it's not as bad as it is bad, but it's not as bad as I think like the impression can be sometimes. It's like, yeah, well, play the game for a few days, you'll be fine. But it's just when you dive in, you're like, I don't even know what to do. What are you talking about? You're asking me to pick up the
Yeah, there's so much like
gobbledy,
baseline knowledge, and like the thing is, I went into it with a baseline knowledge of how MOBAs already work and how like roles in MOBAs already work, because I kind of knew that from playing Paragon playing Deadlock and that kind of stuff. So I kind of know there's a jungler, a top laner, a mid laner, you know, a bottom laner, a carry. You know, like, I already knew the foundations of last hitting, buying items, and even then it's like
it's like the difference between knowing some vocabulary of a new language and then hearing somebody speak it at
right,
normal pace and like you,
the moment.
You're like, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Sorry to
so
wrap back
there
to
you go.
Cronos real quick. That's coming out on the Switch too.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Cronos, the new Dawn?
Yeah.
How are they going to get that to run? Dude,
It's
that's
running
going to
at
be
30
interesting to
FPS.
see.
I'm looking at a video now comparing it to the PS5 Pro version.
I mean, it is very GPU heavy. I'm sure it's CPU heavy too, but I typed it in Google, and one of the first headlines was "New Dawn on Switch 2 suffers major downgrade." But that
I'd
is
be
just
surprised at running well on Switch 2.
But wait, it's out. Wait, you can buy it on Switch 2?
It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't think
Did
you'll be
not
doing
realize
yourself
that.
justice to play it on Switch.
I would not be doing that, but I'm going to be very curious to see this. So
That sounded like a personal challenge, Myelin.
It's your money. I think
Go
it's
put
better
myself
for
a
a
nice
dark
Switch 2
room.
physical copy tomorrow.
on the other side, though, we should say, awesome. Good job putting it on Switch 2. Unlike Shinobi. Shame on you for not putting it on Switch 2. You know what I mean?
That game should be on Switch 2.
Make an effort.
Yes.
And they're out there. They're showing up. So good on you, Bloober and friends.
Yep.
There.
What else we got going on?
Should I take a quick Destiny 2 insert real fast?
Did
Oh,
you play
sure.
Destiny Rising?
I was going to ask about the
No.
Destiny Rising raid too, if any of you guys did some of that.
Well, we should cover both things, maybe. But did anyone here play Destiny Rising yet?
Nope.
No,
I
sir.
only touched
Womp
like
womp.
15 minutes, so not qualified to talk about.
We should have had Tassie come on this week.
True.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get, dude. Of course, he's all in.
Oh, he's so in on
We
Destiny
got to get the
Rising.
scoop on how much money he's actually spent. You know, he doesn't talk about.
Yeah,
that, but I
are we
bet-
having people hit the wall yet? Is there a wall? When's the wall? Like, when is the? Oh my god! I just hit the. I have to spend real money now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here's all I'll say about it is I've heard a lot of good impressions. People are just happy to play new Destiny content that's new for the sake of being new, you know. But that it's actually totally decent, and the campaign is decent, and it's all free. And I haven't heard too much about, you know, all those paywall or pay to play type things. And like, this is the same, you know, publisher and all that Diablo Immortal has gone through a lot, but it's actually pretty solid, I believe. You know, I don't play it, but I have a good friend that's super into it and in this scene, and he's talked a lot about how, yeah, like there's some things, but actually it's quite good, you know, and it's managed to even push Diablo in some ways, right? Because they're experimenting with certain things. So, you know, I think
mean, if they did that well, then I mean that's always the complaint with the free to play mobile is like it gets you hooked in the first 20 hours, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? You just hit this
gotta
massive
roll a new
wall where
character.
you have to start buying characters, or you have to start spending some currency to really progress without putting in tens of hours. You know, so
I thought you were gonna say $10,000.
there's
There's that
10,
too.
20 hours.
So yeah, I don't know, but honestly, maybe in chat, if there's anyone who's played it that has had a negative impression, I'd be curious. But I've actually heard mostly like, you know, reasonable, like, yeah, it's not bad, you know, or I like it. I've been playing it, so that's.
I have
from the
heard
outside.
it feels better on PC than mobile, which is weird.
Well, you can emulate on PC. It's not officially on PC, right? But you can emulate.
No, but like it's weird that it feels better with on PC than mobile.
Maybe people were just talking about they didn't use a controller on
Controls.
mobile. Because like I don't know why it would be different other than maybe it's the screen size, you know. But I use the controller, so yeah, I don't want to play it with the screen controls. Oh yeah, Watts is saying NetEase does provide an emulator. That's interesting. But
I mean, they so did the right thing there, knowing that Destiny's on PC and like console to give you
want
an
those
emulator
players.
is just like, wow. Actually understanding the audience, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Understand that the streamers wanted to play it and showcase it, and the
Yeah.
content creators are all there trying to make videos. Good one.
Yep.
Put it on,
Well, I mean,
put it on an emulator.
again, it's not their first rodeo, right? So, they have experience dealing with, I think, Diablo Immortal probably being mobile only and all that at first and all that. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I would like to play some. I just I don't play mobile games unless they're I really like Grindstone and games more like that. Balatro, I think, I don't play it on mobile, but stuff like that more enjoy.
like
But anything
content,
with controls, I'm using a controller, which I did do for Destiny Rising. And then I'm this tiny screen, laying it on its side or propping it up on a tripod just to obviously I should, I wanted to try it on mobile was why, but it sounds like you can get it on your PC pretty easily. It's a better way to do it. But if I'm on my PC, it's my point is there's all this other stuff I want to play. So but I've heard mostly good things. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's worth noting. I'm curious what you guys think on this actually. Here's my read. You're so what's going on with Destiny Rising as a bet from Bungie, and now Sony? Because you're at this situation where Edge of Fate came out, Destiny Rising comes out, and that's free. And it is actually getting some conversion, I think, of Destiny players that are going to play that instead. And I think absolutely that's a factor. And you can look at it and say, well, I'm just guessing this number, but Bungie is going to make 15% of the revenue. So they're good, new income stream. But what you don't want is those people converting to that, right? Where you're only getting, say, my made up 15% revenue. When you want them buying the next expansion or
your next DLC
Renegades.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a scary bet. However, I think there's that, if this game can go on to make $2 billion and they're able to carve 15% out or whatever it is, and eventually, when this comes to PlayStation or however it would work out for them, they'll get even bigger cuts of all this stuff, as complicated as that may be. I think that's part of it. They're we just want to make money and we'll let them do it. They did it with Diablo Immortal. I don't know what those economics look like, but probably quite good for Blizzard. But I think the other side is the one we forget, which is, there's all these people that are going to try Destiny for free because it's not a free game, truly. There's a bunch of paid content and also just mobile so accessible. And what if it does become super popular and they decide to try out core Destiny? I think that's part of their big bet. Because what you don't want to do is lose Destiny players. But I think obviously mobile, the history is more you're going to pick up 50 million players after a couple of years, maybe. What can you convert them to Destiny? So I don't know. I'm assuming that's where their head's at with it, but I don't know what you guys think.
I kind of think that it provides an avenue for players who put down Destiny to just keep playing Destiny. So it's I'm interested in how many people who picked up Destiny Rising lapsed or were Destiny players that were unhappy with the grind or unhappy with Bungie, and rather than play something completely different, they're well, I'll just keep playing Destiny.
This will be familiar, yeah.
On mobile.
Yeah.
And that might be this kind of synergy where maybe Bungie can try to get Destiny back on track and people can have a healthier, well, I don't think it's healthy if you play it on mobile and that, but do you know, when I look at Warframe, nearly all the Warframe players are just I just come back to Warframe when they got drops, and I play it for a bit, I get the stuff and I leave again. And I can kind of imagine that happening with Destiny and Destiny Rising is people spend more time with Destiny Rising and maybe they come back for a drop and see if the things have improved and if they like it. And then if they don't, they just continue with Destiny Rising.
Yeah, that's another interesting way to look at it. Is it keeps them in the Destiny ecosystem.
It
now,
keeps
no
them in the franchise, basically.
Yeah.
And I think we've probably seen a lot of that at launch anyway. I think a lot of people in my community anyway have picked up Destiny Rising who weren't actively playing Destiny.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you can look at it from that point of view is Bungie's just put another net underneath them to stop you escaping.
Yeah. A net ease.
A net ease,
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it is even though, it is, they've licensed it out, to NetEase, and I'm sure NetEase makes a lot of the revenue. It does keep them, always thinking about Destiny no matter where they go. I hadn't thought about that part of it either, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It'll still keep you in there. So yeah, we'll see where Destiny Rising goes. We'll have to have someone on who actually plays it can talk about it in detail because we've asked. Apologies, folks. We've asked a few weeks now, but yeah, I mean, look, there's so many other good games. DCP now is it's DCP. It was born out of Destiny Community Podcast, right? So just call it DCP because if you keep calling it Destiny Community Podcast, you're going to be disappointed.
It's a comment every week on the YouTube uploads. Yeah, it's like this is supposed to be a Destiny podcast. It's in the name, and none of you guys play Destiny. It's like, like, I totally understand that. I think that's a fair thing to say, but also it's to rebrand a whole show just because we're not all of us are super knee deep into Destiny anymore. It's a really big challenge too.
Yeah.
So
I like Fran's analogy. Like, well, it's like RGN. Like, what does RGN stand for?
Nothing. Unless they changed it since I left, but it used to. Yeah, it's the same. It's a similar story. It was internet. It was a couple things, but originally it was Imagine Games Network because Imagine was the publisher who was owning them at the time, and then it turned into Internet Game Network, and then they thought that was dumb. That's a really dumb name. So let's not do that. And then it was like just IGN, and so I think DCP.
But I have had a request though, and look, I should have talked about off stream, but whatever. I'll say it now while we're on the topic of feedback. People have enjoyed when I bring up my screen, like we talk about trailers and stuff, and I have a whole bunch of trailers lined up, and asked if there's a way to maximize my screen to make it a little bit easier to see. So maybe we can talk about that. I don't know. It's a bit hard with.
You'll have to get Briar to have a scene switch on that one.
Yeah, it would have to be like a scene switch and stuff. But if you've asked for that, I have heard it. So when we're talking big demo releases,
it might be a good segue. We've been talking about NetEase, obviously, but Marvel Rivals has their brand new season that's launching next week.
Well, maybe put a pin in that because I still had to talk about Destiny 2.
Oh, there's another Destiny game we still have to talk about. Okay,
but Marvel Rivals next. Is that cool? And the thing in between, I was curious. Briar.
No,
Briar's
very good.
Oh, sorry. Briar, though, you didn't say anything on the name. Do you have any feedback on the naming? What do you think? You're the OG here, dude. Like, came before all of us.
I mean,
I want to hear it from Captain Briar.
What do you think about the DCP thing and the name?
I mean, we've tried to like kind of add the side quest to it. Is there anybody who really expects us to talk about Destiny anymore?
I think I asked. I got the answer that, oh man, I was hoping you were going to appeal to them a little bit, but we are about to talk about Destiny 2.
Okay.
But that's how you feel. Yeah. You're like, like we've been doing this a while. It shouldn't surprise you, right?
No, it's been a long time since we've been like really kind of devoted to Destiny.
I had someone tweet me yesterday. Well, they tweeted at Bife for whatever reason, and then replied to their own comments at Bife. Did Myelin Games really leave Destiny? I'm like, it's been over a year. My last Destiny
what did Bife
video.
Say?
I don't think you responded.
Yeah.
It's July 2024 was my last Destiny video.
Yeah. My view would be honestly, it's like Briar's right. You probably shouldn't be that surprised by it. But also, I mean, I do play Destiny 2, just not like as hardcore as y'all. And I know it's nice to have on folks because there's a lot of Destiny players still that listen, but it's never been the only thing we talk about here anyway. So shouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's not
surprised.
There's a difference
difference
between not playing it and like cheering against it. None of us are Destiny haters. Like I will always cheer for Destiny to succeed. I want the passionate people at 3/4 of us are not Destiny haters. I will always cheer for Destiny to succeed. I love that universe, the lore, the characters, the stories, the journeys we've been through. I have very positive memories and experiences. But man, it was a decade. And sometimes you just end up other places. I think that's totally okay.
Yeah. And it's not like, nobody's hating against it. So be nice about your feedback. If you want to know about Destiny 2, leave a question, but don't be mad at us if we're not talking about it every week, right? That being said, I do try to talk about it and bring up the important stuff, and here we go. So they did announce on Tuesday they are going to, I was surprised and kind of forgot, they have a new major update coming. This will be the first major update, which is a lot of new free content, new activity. We're going back to the Plaguelands, by the way.
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
is interesting. Yeah, they're doing some like dungeon lair, like.
Okay.
Again? Oh yeah, again. Yeah.
Half of us are not Destiny haters.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, well, you know what's funny is even as we brought up all this, like we had just segued out of talking about how mad Destiny players are, so they're playing Destiny Rising. So it's, I mean, come on, like there's a lot of people that are, you know, plenty upset with Destiny, right? But so anyway, Star Wars Renegades, Destiny 2 Renegades, which is inspired by Star Wars. I forgot, you know, that they are, of course, going to show more. I was surprised that they said they're going to show even more this coming Tuesday. So I'm really curious what they have to say about this. Is for the December update. I think previously even called it on the show. I was like, I don't think we'll hear about that till like late October or November, you know. And so for us to hear about it this soon is interesting. So very curious about that. So that was big. I also thought it was worth noting that they talked about the voice actor stuff, which, if you remember, Ikora was voiced by Savathun, who's Deborah Wilson or whatever, because of like the voice actor strikes and all that. And so, long story short, they're like, with this upcoming update, I wasn't like 100% clear how it's working, but they got, I'm assuming that Deborah Wilson's voice is now replaced in that. But they say they're happy to announce that with the Ashen Iron update, the original English voice talent for Ikora, so I guess just for English, Orin and Kioma have returned. So, you know, that's interesting for those of us who were keeping track of that one.
Quick side note on voice actors and voice actresses. My first character I picked in League of Legends was voiced by Marisol. I can't remember the actress.
Oh,
I was like,
Oh, really?
I was like, fuck off. I can't escape this shit. I'm playing League of Legends. I'm like, is that Mara? I'm like,
oh, man. Interesting. But yeah, next week is a big week for, you know, another major update. And then is the raid, epic raid thing. I forget if it's the end of next week. I mean, no, that's actually not till September 27th, it looks like. That's more in the, Silent Hill F territory. I was thinking Borderlands 4 is around the corner now too. So they're right in the middle of all this. But anyway, short story, Star Wars Renegades stuff. I'm going to call it Star Wars Renegades, but it's Destiny 2 Renegades, the Star Wars stuff. I'm interested to see what they show next week. So we'll keep an eye out.
copy that.
Marvel Rivals?
Marvel Rivals. That's fine. No, I interrupted you. We were still mid Destiny. But I could see that Myelin was starting to get twitchy, and I was like, we better move on soon.
he was morphing.
Yeah, so obviously that's kind of the space I hang out in most these days, because that's where my content is. But excited for the new season. Launches next Friday. A ton of balance updates coming along with that to sort of shake things up in the meta. But they're really staying committed to this pace where they're like, we're bringing new maps, new heroes, new game modes. There's always something new every single month. And it's not small stuff. Like, yeah, they have free events, free skins, and things like that going on all the time as well. But they're really staying committed to like making sure the game is constantly moving forward with meaningful content as well that actually changes how you interact with the game. So we get 2 new heroes with season 4 with staggered launches. So next Friday we get Angela, which is this one-winged Asgardian angel warrior. So she's like giant, big, beefy. She's going to be a tank. She's our first flying tank in the game. She has a spear, so she can like legitimately skewer people and CC them, like carrying them across the map, displacing. So displacement tanks aren't a big part of the game right now. You have Thor, who's able to, the other Asgardian tank we have, who can kind of carry people with his hammer. He can knocks into them and carry them places. So it'll be nice to have another tank like that. She does have some built-in team up abilities. That's a big part of Marvel Rivals. If you're not familiar with the game, is obviously in superhero comic books, you've got these team ups that happen every now and then. So they do that in the game as a mechanic. It's a really cool thing, and it's a rotating door. So Angela will have a team up with Thor, where Thor gets to basically. She has her lore is kind of interesting as an Asgardian angel figure. She has like this golden ichor for blood that she can then transform into objects. So she can transform it into a shield in the game to block damage. She can transform it into a spear for your long reach melee, but she can also transform it into these battle axes for brawling up close. The team up with Thor gives him the ability to summon her spear and throw it, and then like launched to it, which is great because he's a dive tank. He does a lot of big brawler damage to squishy targets. So if you're fighting enemy tanks on the front line as Thor and you see a healer behind them, you can chuck that spear back behind the enemy tanks and just leap to it and suddenly be right there with the healers and beat them down. Kind of cool. So we get that. We get new map. We get Daredevil is going to be coming as a new duelist, new DPS character halfway through the season as well. So give us another few weeks after Angela, we'll get a new duelist in the form of Yield Daredevil. Pretty cool.
Nice. I had a question for you. Yeah, about this last week was Overwatch had kind of popped again. For a rare moment had taken over, at least in Twitch numbers. And I saw some chatter about folks not playing Marvel Rivals and playing Overwatch. And I was like, do you happen to know if that was like seasonal fatigue or there was something with Marvel that was driving folks back towards Overwatch? Or...
I think so. With Marvel Rivals this past season, there was a little bit of a frustrating meta that existed that drove some people. Some people just kind of got tired of it. But it's real. There was a focus on characters in the game that were kind of taking over, who are hard to hit. Right? They're fast, kind of glass cannons, but they're just really hard to damage. It can be frustrating if you're like, I'm a casual player, hop in here, I don't have the greatest aim, I just want to play as a healer, and that's who their primary targets are the healers, right? These big zippy characters that are just like really, really fast, big burst damage, and get the heck out. Who are they going to pick on? They're going to pick on the healers because the healers can't really fight back too much. Yeah. So I think that created a little bit of frustration. Those characters are being addressed. They released a like balance patch update news today, like a blog post, kind of detailing ways they're going to help mitigate that next season. But quite honestly, I think a part of it is that they know that people like to play DPS characters, so they just keep giving us more DPS characters.
Yeah.
So right now right now in the game, there are more DPS characters than there are tanks and healers combined. So I think they just need to also, with their hero release schedule, luckily our next hero that's getting released, Angela, is a tank. But they need to do more of that. Make people excited to play the other roles to kind of help shake things up, because right now it's real DPS heavy.
Nice.
Okay. But I think that Rivals is just like most games, start up here, big, chaotic launch with tons of people playing and being really excited about it. It's a new game in this genre I love. That tapers off over time, but it also stabilizes, and I'm not too worried about it. They still have a really healthy player base, even though it is considerably lower than it was 2 seasons ago.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll really be like next season, see with the impressions and the meta and all that, how it's handled, if it's still pretty well done based on what they've been doing, So obviously as an Overwatch fan in general, I don't keep up with it these days, but I was happy to see, right, that the community still is willing to go back to the game, when I feel like a lot of people move towards Rivals because they were the narrative was like, I'm tired of Overwatch and I didn't like Overwatch 2's launch. And like, I get that, but Overwatch 2 is still incredibly polished and awesome in so many ways. So
yeah, that player base has a lot of overlap. I think you'll see people ping ponging. You'll see these swings in the player bases. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, competition is
expected. Good. Absolutely. Breeds innovation.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like other PvP. Sounds like they're putting out like content very quick and consistently. I'm trying to think of other PvP games that do it that well. I mean, it's probably just Fortnite, right? And then I don't know what Call of Duty's like these days with putting out content, but you're saying like new maps and characters, not just like battle pass stuff, but like game modes and maps and that.
And they've got that too. Obviously, the game's free to play, so they're dropping skins every Thursday. One probably went up. What time is it? 30 minutes ago. One probably went up as a new penny skin, which looks really cool. But I mean, there's constantly cosmetics you can buy and stuff like that to subsidize the game. But it is free to play, and all that content, the new maps, the new characters, everybody gets access to them. And I think that's obviously a big pull. And the maps, I'm excited because where we're headed now, we're coming out of a season that it's been themed around the planet Clintar, which, if you're familiar with the Marvel universe or not, this is where the symbiotes come from. The Venom symbiote, the fangs, the black goo. that's where all the symbiotes come from. It's dark and it's dismal. So the new maps we've been getting kind of have that same vibe. They're dark, they're dismal. And I'm excited that where we're going next is a much brighter space in the form of, I think the next map is supposed to be like this sort of Asgardian heaven theme. So a very different palette. I think that'll be refreshing too.
Nice. Well, it's refreshing to have a PvP game launch, and they've got a real tight pipeline for content release.
I
'Cause
forgot what it was like to constantly get new PvP maps.
I was like, you must be sweating. Like, what is this weird feeling?
I'm like still trying to learn a
What?
new map. They're like, hey, we got a new map coming out in 3 weeks. I'm like, I'm still learning this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great for content too, right? You know, it's what you chase.
Absolutely. And that's, I got to say, on the flip side of it, you know, as somebody who makes content, that's also very refreshing because there's so many. And gosh, one of us is not a Destiny hater. No, I'm kidding. My Destiny experience as a content creator got challenging when the PvP tap closed.
Yeah.
Because then the burden's on you to be creative, and that's not to say I was still enjoying playing Destiny. So I'm not being a Destiny hater here. I was still loving the experience. The problem was the problem that the players don't have. It's a content creator issue. But when there's not new maps to cover and new things like that that are specifically PvP dedicated, you have to get creative with your content and come up with all these new ideas for what video am I going to make today? I don't know. There's nothing new in the game, so I've got to be the innovative one here. It's nice to have some of that pressure alleviated as a content creator. First world problems, I know, but I'm enjoying that side of covering Rivals because there's just new characters to make guides on. There's balances that are happening constantly to their kits, and it's not like small. It's not like, oh, we changed their damage by 5. I can make a whole video because the character updates they're doing. Like one of the characters next week is a character that's been in the game since launch, but they're completely changing this character's ultimate and what it does and how it interacts with your team. It's huge changes, so it's refreshing.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right that there's a content creator sub, but also, I mean, the community is responding to all those changes in a similar way, right? We're meaning like, oh, wait, what are the changes? Because there's people who want to be in that know. I mean, it being a PvP game, so it refreshes everybody.
Us.
Anybody got
I
else?
haven't looked it up. Play anything else?
I mean, my tabletop games. There's the whole. I don't know if any tabletop fans in here.
I mean, I'm surprised Briar's not.
I mean, I'm not Warcraft. Warhammer curious.
Right? Yeah.
Warhammer curious. Yeah.
I had. Yeah, we know that. I really miss those days when immediately it'd be just close up on his figurine. Maybe related though. I don't know what you're going to say about tabletop stuff, but Space Marines, I think, is getting an update. Did you see this?
Oh yeah, new season stuff for Space Marine. That's right. I didn't look into it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not an expert, but I quickly glancing over it. Maybe I can look it up while you mentioned tabletop stuff. But
yeah, I was just gonna say it's been a really fun. Like honestly, the last decade of tabletop has been so explosive, and people treating tabletop as a new medium for expressing creativity. And kind of at the forefront of that has been most people are at least familiar with the Critical Role cast. But this is Matt Mercer. He voices Fickrell in the Destiny franchise. Yeah, their whole cast, they're launching their next campaign 4, October 2nd, I think. But they've been doing a ton of promo work, getting it up and running. And they did some stuff with like Rhett and Link this week. They have a new DM, so Matt Mercer is actually going to be letting go of the reins as the dungeon master for Critical Role. If you watch animated shows, the Vox Machina animated series on Amazon Prime, this is them. That's their characters. They're voicing their own characters that they made in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They got turned into an animated series, which is like every D&D player's dream, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, that's cool.
If Amazon reaches out to you and they're like, hey, you came up with a cool world and you acted out your characters and it was really compelling. Can we do you want to reprise your roles in an animated? That's like freaking dream material right there. It's amazing. But anyways,
Nice.
they're living that dream. Matt Mercer taking the hands off the reins, and Brennan Lee Mulligan is coming in as the new DM, and he is insanely talented. He's like one of my favorite DMs in the entire genre. So great storyteller, actor turned DM. Yeah, very cool.
Nice.
Oh, that's what Vox is? Yes, that's what Vox is. Yep. And we do get a new season of Vox Machina too, that's right. And then Mighty Nine is coming, which is the other characters in a different campaign they ran. Yeah, they're eating good. And us as, if you're a D&D fan, well, tabletop in general, yeah. Oh, campaign 4, by the way, super cool. They're going full Tolkien because they've got a huge cast, so it's not just like, oh, there's 6 of us going through a linear campaign. They're doing it like, so they were talking about like it's like Two Towers, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, where it's like these are all our favorite characters, but they're all over Middle Earth, and they're all fighting their own battles and having their own stories and their own character growth and development, but they have crossroads, and they're all working towards a same shared world goal. So huge cast, multiple campaigns running at once, so it's going to be chaotic and fun.
God, that sounds crazy to put together.
Yeah, huge production thing.
So yeah, maybe real fast your reaction to the Space Marine 2 Year 2 content. I guess they were saying that there's, of course, some planned patches and free gameplay additions through the rest of 2025 and then into 2026. But what they're doing is they say 4 new operations and a new siege map.
Nice.
Wow.
3 new Eternal War arenas, new stratagems for PvE, and then Hellbrute Onslaught would be a PvP game mode. A new playable class, the Tech Marine.
Ooh, Tech Marine, that's been like highly requested. That's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then like, new progression, new enemies and bosses. So they say the second year of content kicks off, on September 4th. So that just kicked out today, I guess. Was its big anniversary update as well, I guess. So
that's awesome. Yeah, when I get free time, that mythical thing that people talk about, I've never seen it free time, but I hear it's a real thing. When that happens, I do want to go back and play more Space Marine and see, like, the Horde mode is a big thing, new playable classes, new operations. I played those operations until my eyeballs bled. I loved Space Marine 2 on launch. I was so hooked.
Yeah, that was a great game.
I know, that's why I do forget, like how much time it takes to just play Rivals and master things and then do content on it. I'm always asking you about Space Marines in the same, like, maybe you had some free time to check it out again. But it's like, I guess it has been a while now, but I know that you always appreciated it. And I was really happy.
I thought that game was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was always like, I guess I bring it up so much. It's a good example. Like, I don't play it at all, but when I did, I just enjoyed the way they, compartmentalized like a great campaign that I could play and enjoy.
Yeah.
Kind of an OG style, just awesome looking, awesome sounding. Then the operation stuff was really nice. I didn't have the time, but I played a little bit. And then I saw how much the community loved it. So I guess I'm always keeping an eye on it.
I can't remember what platform I was playing that on. Was it PC? It might have been PC. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm with you. I want to get it back into that. That's a fun game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see they've just really kept at it. They even announced, I think we talked about it. I forget the exacts, but it was like, the sequel is coming. And they're just really.
They announced that quickly.
Yeah. They're really keeping this community like
and they were like, but don't worry, that doesn't mean we're stopping development with Space Marine 2. We told you guys we're getting committed to this game, and we are.
Yeah.
Which is good and refreshing too. Yeah. Love it.
I wonder whatever happened. There was a Warhammer series that was I don't know if it was under development or if it was just being tossed around with the guy who played Superman.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I don't know if that ever got off the ground.
They hit some hiccups, but I think they're moving forward with it. Last I saw. I think there's some creative clashing going on, but they must have come to some agreement. Started moving forward again.
Good.
Last I heard, I could be wrong.
I did want to mention super fast, maybe Metal Eden, if that's all right.
Yeah, what's that?
Metal Eden is that game I had brought up quite a bit. There was that demo this spring, if you remember. but it's very like cyberpunky looking. Some people were even like, "Oh, it kind of looks like Marathon" because of some of the like text font styles.
This
and,
game is a
very
sci-fi
cyberpunky kind of look, but it's more like future, vibrant, almost Akira at times, but it is like very like a Doom Eternal / one of those like run fast and forward, and you're gonna have to melee in for health, get upgrades, and all that. So, in short, I've played only a little. Unfortunately, another game that, despite my very good PC setup, and I know other people had some trouble. Like it's definitely some performance issues that I've been kind of grappling with. So that's a bummer. But
Sorry to
maybe
hear
on
that, Fran.
yeah, on console maybe it's a bit better. I get the joke. On console maybe it's a little bit better, but look into it is my point, and then take the feedback, which is the game seems cool. If you're down for this type of game, when it's worked right for me and I've got my settings going, it's been nice, man. It's just fast and really cool looking, and there's more like powers and upgrades than you might think from looking at it. But yeah, the basic format of the game is like run forward. You're gonna wall run some. You're gonna get a hover ability eventually, and you're gonna get even more powers. You'll get on rails sometimes, but it does. A core thing that happens is you get in a room full of enemies before you can kind of progress sometimes to, slow down that need for like developing these huge levels. So you kind of be wall running in circular paths as you try to like take out waves of enemies. And it's definitely more that type of game where it's about like, what is your build and can you get better at this? I was playing on hard mode, so it could be pretty rough at times because again, you got to like really be careful not to let your health drop. You got to keep meleeing folks, and it's this very like rhythm of those shooters. You know how it goes. I mean, Doom, the latest Doom was even a bit like that. You had to be cautious about getting your health back and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
this
props
looks
to them.
very
It seems,
Doom.
yeah. I mean, the way
Yeah,
it's certainly
it's Space
inspired
Doom.
from that style.
You can play the demo for free on Steam, so I recommend playing it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I gave it a shot. I only gave it an hour, and it really hadn't sunk in for me. I kind of wanted it to be a roguelite. Like I know I've played a lot of roguelites, and it kind of felt like
Yeah.
it should have been one. I don't know. So I
Mm.
need to see how it unfolds a little bit more combat wise and like upgrade wise.
I guess I like it because it's the opposite. And it's not that I don't like roguelites, but like as we talked about, I think it was last week, it's like everything's a roguelite, everything's a
Yeah,
Metroidvania, and like there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But the market is saturated, and
Yeah.
obviously I'm, showing my gamer age here of like I like that it is just kind of more of that. It's not a boomer shooter, but it's in that vein. It's Doom style, and it's just focused on like an upgrade path and like
How
it just
refreshing
looks
to
good.
get a Doom clone in 2025.
Yeah, and like I think that's what it is. It's like thank you. And Cronos similarly, right? Like thank you for just keep it right there on the nose. I like these types of games, and I know that they can be a bit of a harder sell, but that's why I bring it up. This is more of an indie game, so go check it out if you like shooters. It's the short of it. Very stylish. Double check maybe performance on consoles, etc. On PC, I don't know. On PC, it just feels very demanding. So I kind of wonder. I guess I'm snooty because the game looks so good. So I keep trying to keep some of these settings, but you probably can back it off and it'll be fine. So, but it's cool. There's way more upgrades than you'd think. Like there's a morph ball at one point. You get grenades, and there are build components. Like you get a currency of dust, is what it is. So hey, you get some dust to use for an upgrade, Myelin. Does that sound good? Yeah, you can choose a build. Get more in your lane there, right? But jokes aside, you can use dust to like choose like, oh, I want to get like a ice frost explosion from my gun instead of, oh, I'll use this void style blast of. So you can kind of choose some builds, and it's definitely that type of game where you want to go back and like re-grind for dust and stuff like that. So again, it's there if you kind of dig that, but it seems pretty solid. It's gotten, more in that 70 to 80 style reviews, so it seems solid.
Nice.
Did you say this is a Unreal Engine 5 game?
I think it is, yeah. Sure feels like a lot of stutter issues for me and things that.
Did you see that quote from Tim Sweeney?
No.
About Unreal Engine 5?
What did he say?
He basically
It was
like
on-
pushed off performance issues for Unreal Engine 5 onto developers.
Oh, fun.
I don't know what he said. My first reaction is anybody who made an engine that somebody then uses and has issues could say the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like, well, we told you, be careful, don't overdo anything. And you're like, look at games, like they're very complex, hard to do what you want to do, and the time and money you have. And so I'm not, a developer in that, right? But I think everybody it's not going to work for them because everyone's like, you had all these stuttering issues with Unreal 4. It's here again, and it's very common with Unreal. So, like, how did we arrive in this problem again? Maybe he needed to design an engine where whatever it is, then that's what I'd say to him. I'd be like, Tim, so out of curiosity, could you lock developers out of whatever feature is causing this issue? To keep them from using it unless that they get a certification test from you. Like what is it that they don't, that they're just, they have full run of the house and they're like, you know what I mean? They're not being responsible. I don't know what he said though.
He says performance issues are developers' failure to optimize for low-end hardware early in the development cycle, leading to a reliance on last-minute fixes and making games perform poorly on less powerful systems. But games aren't just performing poorly on less powerful systems, they're also performing poorly on very powerful systems.
Yeah, exactly. Like Cronos and Metal Eden both have issues. What I'd say is, like, again, I feel like this is not just an Unreal issue. Like developers do exactly what he just said, unfortunately. Yeah. It's the gripe I always have about Metroid Prime, right? Like, how did we get a 60 FPS, both, bespoke experience on GameCube in 2002 that ran at 60?
Yeah.
It had some frame rate hitches, but not like ridiculous, constantly plagued by issues. How do we arrive 20 some years later? And it's like, we get a game Star Wars Jedi, I always bring up like how bad that launch was. Like games are just really complex, and developers, I think they do get too ambitious like too often. I mean, even look at Cyberpunk. It's amazing now, but look what happened at launch.
Yeah.
I used to kind of think, well, they want the game to look good in a magazine, right? It's like but that can't be the case anymore because everybody's looking at YouTube to see a game. So you want to see it running smooth. Yeah. The first thing Myelin noticed on that new James Bond game was that it wasn't running smooth.
Well, also, by the way, watch the trailer, the gameplay trailer, not the gameplay demo, which Sony, forced them to show on PlayStation 5 Pro. So it looks sharper and nicer on PC. I would assume it's PC dev environment for there's like a gameplay trailer that's much nicer looking. Not sponsored.
He's biting his tongue. He wants to.
You want me to watch the thing that's clearly hiding the bad parts?
I'm just saying it might look nice on PC, I don't know, but I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, either way, it's a disappointment. And I've been having this reaction all week. I'm like, how, dude, just for those listening that aren't clear, I have a Intel 13900K and a 4090 that has got its own built-in all-in-one cooler. Like there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to just boot up Cronos or Metal Eden and not have just like just go on medium or high and not have like stuttering or whatever. And like you totally do. Yeah. So that is the issue. Like, interestingly, I'm, not an expert on this, but Xbox was talking about some stuff, I think at Gamescom about it is quite complex. It's the way, again, I don't know exactly how it works, but there's DirectX 11 and now 12, and like the way DirectX deals with this stuff. And they were talking about putting stuff in the cloud for like shader compilation and all this stuff that's way over my head. And I caught a little bit of this on Digital Foundry. So thanks to those guys for trying to explain it. But it's a big issue in gaming. It's not just Unreal, but shader compilation and all these issues is a big deal that Microsoft's actually trying to figure out how to solve it. Obviously getting ahead of the fact they're going to have this new ecosystem of like handhelds and consoles and PC that's everything's supposed to just work, and it never does, is sort of the point of all this. So I think that'll play into it too, but I think we're many years away from stutter not being a problem, despite what Tim Sweeney says.
Tim Sweeney, was that a slip?
That was like Bumgee. I don't know. I don't know if you were here. Did you hear about Bumgee yet? Briar's typo. Go check out episode 437 if you didn't on YouTube. Anyway.
Anybody got anything else they want to get in?
No.
Go play Shinobi.
I will tease next week. Hopefully Watts is on, but I beat Elden Ring DLC, and I think we should.
Oh, you did.
So Watts is on as well, but I have a lot. Yeah, like I think even last week I was about to be done, and we said, "Oh, I can't wait to talk about it."
Yeah,
but I would like to wait until Watts is here. So a teaser for next week.
Can I
hopefully.
ask a couple of questions just because I'm curious?
I love. Yeah, of course. Now I can't.
How many
not ask.
hours did it take?
Oh, actually, I know it was about 55 or something. I was
55. Do you remember how many hours you put into the main game?
Oh yeah, like 450, maybe more.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot. I played a lot of Elden Ring. So I mean, on that front, like I got addicted to exploring. I mean, it was still like a little more in the thick of the pandemic, many gaming hours, but it really captured me exploring. And I just kind of had to get every item, but I just kept finding stuff on the map where I was like, oh my God. You know,
that was
this was here. Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part about Elden Ring, honestly. It was like I've never seen an open world that does it better than Elden Ring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the DLC didn't quite deliver in the same way. So I'll say that. But I did look, I liked Elden Ring DLC. I think I said that previous weeks. The bosses are incredible. The art is incredible. The music's incredible. But the way they designed that map, my experience exploring and the end of it as well, which we'll talk about. Interesting, as I put it, for $1 billion franchise. Interesting to see how it turned out.
Yeah, I can't wait to really get into depth about that. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
I might have to play a little bit of it just to refresh my memory because it's now been like a year since that came out. Is that right?
Yeah, it has. You know, I really let that one marinate. It's a fine wine.
All right, guys. I think we should wrap this one up. Anybody got anything else they want to say before we go? All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.